This is a long time coming. I don't think I've ever interviewed you over the years. I don't know if you know my passion that I have for you and your career. But let's start off with something kind of cool. You just came from giving out turkeys?
Yes, I just had a turkey giveaway, the Boys and Girls Club. Obviously, I'm not too familiar with the area, but I know it was off 6th Street or Avenue.
I'm not going to quiz you. Right.
Close to the football stadium. Gave away turkeys, 25 families, and it was fun. I had a good time doing that.
Well, thanks for doing that, and obviously thanks for spending an off night with us here. So I love that it was a 2-year deal in Denver. It was about time. If I had gone back, I remember I was telling you this, the night he was drafted, it was the 5th pick. You know, it's Oden, it's Durant, it's Horford, it's Conley. You go to the Celtics, you're traded for Ray Allen. And if somebody had said, like, hey, because when you include Seattle with the Oklahoma City, it's 12 teams. If someone had said to Jeff Green, Georgetown, like, hey, this is going to be, you're playing the league a long time, but you're going to be on a new team all the time, what would you have thought of this career that you've had?
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm like, people are crazy. But over the years, you know, you let it go. Everybody's going to have an opinion on, you know, how you should have played, where you should have been in your journey as far as teams. But at the same time, I'm living out the dream. I'm playing basketball for a living. I always wanted to get to the NBA. And as long as I have that Jerry West patch on my jersey, regardless of who it's for, I'm going to be happy. So, I mean, throughout the years, I've accepted, you know, what it was going to be. And, you know, I just mentally had to change my outlook on things and just had to say, whatever team it is, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to just play hard. And whatever happens at the end of the year, whether it be staying here or not, you know, I just got to live with the results of that and just continue to move forward in my life. I can't continue to dwell on why not me? Why am I not staying in this place? Because then it can become very, very stressful.
Something that I've, you know, again, from the outside and being lucky enough to talk to people that build teams, like, the thing that drives me crazy about so many people in the media do is, like, when the team's rebuilding, then they think everybody's going to be like 22 or younger.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, that's the worst, because all those dudes think they're going to be all-stars. They all think they're going to be max extensions. That I like that you have now, not only as a productive player, but have added this, you know, whether it's you or DeAndre, like, you guys have value in a way that I think is completely underappreciated. That, you know, you need a guy around that isn't worried about necessarily like where he's going to be in 10 years. And I just find it crazy whenever anybody's rebuilding with a team, you're like, a couple of guys like you are important to that rebuild. And I don't think anybody ever really pays enough attention to that.
They don't. And I've been on teams where you have a lot of young guys and you're like, hey, we need to sprinkle in a couple vets. And it don't work because they don't understand. The young guys don't understand, obviously, what it takes to win. Like, I've been down that road. I understand the journey you have to go through, the ups and downs. You name it, I've been through it. And it did not work. So, you know, when the managements, they want to go young. And then they get mad when they don't win, you know, but it's something that you have to go throughout your journey in the NBA, where you're understanding what it takes to win. And now, looking back at it, now 16 years, you know, when you go through it and you get on a team at my age, you're like, okay, I know what it takes. You know, it's a lot easier to accept, you know, a loss here and there because, you know, it's part of the journey. But you also know how to bounce back from it. You know how to galvanize guys in the locker room. You know how to bring them together. And that's something that a bunch of young guys don't know how to do because they're all looking for their piece of the pie. And when there's not enough slices, it runs out, and that's when a team don't function well.
Is it weird leaving the stability of the Brooklyn Nets to come to an organization like that?
I'm having trouble with it.
This place a mess, huh?
No, I mean, I had a good year there. I would never badmouth an organization or the people in that organization. I haven't been there the last 2 years. I've been here. I've been happy. I've been great. I've been in a great situation. And so I can't. I'm not.
You want to say something, but you might be signed. You'll be a free agent. Who knows?
No, I'm not going to comment on what they're going through because obviously I haven't been there the last year and a half. But you know, they still have talent. You never know what can happen. I like to say when I was there, I used to be the one to, you know, make all that mess go away. With my personality, the way I approach every day. But now, they let me go, so they had to go through it. But I don't know. But I am happy. I'm happy I came to Denver. I'm happy I'm out of Brooklyn.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Nuggets. You've played with. I want to get a scouting report. I got a question in here for you later. We'll see how we do with it. But
okay.
Like when I think about, Kawhi's a great development story in the NBA. When you look back at the history of the NBA, a lot of times like, okay, that guy's going to be a stud, and that guy ends up being a Hall of Famer. We've had some stuff happen in recent history where Giannis is this amazing development story, and I think Jokic is a lot like that too. Because I remember
Definitely
the draft stuff, and all of us saw it, and you're like, what? And then you're going, wait, this guy's seeing things that other people don't see. Was there a moment for you last year with this team? Like you played against him and everybody knew who he was, but something that you'll never forget, like this light bulb going off and being like, this is what this guy's like to play with.
I have a lot of moments with that guy from last year and obviously this year playing with him. But for me, it was more so just knowing him personally. Knowing his approach to the game, his basketball IQ is off the charts. I think that's the one thing that stood out to me. I watched from afar. I knew a little bit about, being drafted second round, being a backup center behind Nurk when he was here, and then all of a sudden, a couple years in, getting his starting job. I knew a little bit about it. But for me, the thing that, really caught me off guard was his basketball IQ. And I found that just a walkthrough, just, things that he's seen. We walked through a play and, the different, routes I call them as far as the reads.
But it's routes with him,
It's routes with him and the reads that he sees before anybody else sees. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to watch the way he, goes through the game. It could be 2 plays in a row. We just, I think we played Oklahoma City a couple weeks ago, and and 2 plays in a row. The first play, they double from the baseline. I cut. He doesn't see it. He passed corner. He says, "Run the same play." So the same thing happens. They do the same thing, and he finds me in cut. I get a dunk, and that's the things that he sees, before. The plays happen, he just missed the read that 1 split second. But his IQ is, off the charts. That's the reason why I was able to get, career high in dunks last year because of him. It's not because of me.
See, that's the thing about your career, though. Like, here we are, and I'd say once every 3 weeks you have an in-game dunk. We're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What?
Are we can cuss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I can relax a little bit.
I don't like. Does anybody ever say like? Because it's a lot of guys will be like, "That goes away. It goes away." You have one where you look like you've been in the league 2 years. I like to smile because you're like, "Yep."
Well, it's true. I don't like to talk brag about it because it's guys. You look at LeBron. I had the opportunity to play with him a couple years ago, and I think he's one guy who. You keep saying I play with all, so you can say them all. He's one guy who I watch vividly, like his approach, whether it be taking care of his body, his approach to the game. And I kind of took, what he did and used it, for myself. And to go back to the dunks, I've been doing it for a long time. People act, when I do it, people act like I never did it before, or they're surprised. But it's like, I've been doing it for years. 16 years, you can pretty much say each year I've had over 10 dunks where it's like, God damn, I don't know why people still trying to jump, but it's fun. To me, it's hilarious. Now, I have fun with it. One of my good friends is Kelly Olynyk. We bonded a lot when we were in Boston. In the first game, I didn't even know it was him. Because when I jump, I just jump. I just see the rim. I don't see nobody else. And after the game, he's like, damn, why did you have to do me like that? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, that was me that you dunked on. I was like, oh, shit. My apologies, I'd say sorry to your wife, but, sorry it had to be you, But, no, for me, it's fun, For me, it's a set reminder to tell people or people around the league that I can still play. I can still play at a high level. But that's been my staple now for the last couple of years.
I was out in Boston one night and I was with a date. Yeah, Beantown, what's up? And Kelly Olynyk was there with a mutual friend, and I got up and went to the bathroom, and he asked the girl I was with for her phone number. So fuck Kelly Olynyk. So keep dunking on him.
I got you.
More Nuggets talk, and I'm not doing this because I'm curious about this team. You know what I mean? Like, that next step is tough. That's the tough one. And I mean, I have my opinion. You actually play for him, so I'll ask you yours. I love this roster. I love, like, the peak version of this roster will be the best version of this Nuggets team that we've seen in recent history. It's just a matter of, Jamal getting back, the defense tighten up a bit. Malone, how many times are you going to yell at Porter Jr. in a game? What is it, how you see? I know this is going to be the positive thing or everything, but like a real assessment of like how you feel this squad is in comparison to who you'll be competing with in the West.
Well, I always give real assessments because I don't like to just hand out positives and people walk away like, oh shit, like we're going to be number
fit right
one
in
for a
then,
year.
right.
Like we have a lot of room for improvement, especially the defensive end. But we also have a lot of guys that are coming back that we still have to catch a rhythm with to make things go the way we want to. We have what it takes to win, no doubt. From our starting five, our bench, we have guys who can play multiple positions with the signings of Bruce. Bruce Brown's big. You can tell by the way he's been playing. KCP, great two-way defender. Yoke, two-time MVP. We have everything possible to win a championship. But we have a lot of room for improvement as far as gelling on both ends of the floor. Defense, for me, I've always preached defense. We have a lot of guys who can score. So for us, our defense has to be top-notch, especially, when we go against the Golden State. They have numerous of shooters, Jordan Poole, Clay, Steph. It's a lot of weapons out there on that floor for them. Phoenix. Portland's been playing well. Utah's been playing well. It's a lot of teams out there, especially in the West, that we're going to have to compete when it comes April, May, June, if we want to get to where we want to be, where our defense has to be on key. And I think that's going to be our biggest stepping tool, and that's going to be what's going to take us over the top. Because if we're clicking on offense, there's nobody who can score with us. But our defense, I think, is going to be something that we have to hone in on, and then we have to be, all five guys together.
Okay, as you mentioned, you played with all these guys. And I was kind of going through it again because I got some rapid fire stuff for you at the end. I tell this story, so I'm kind of teeing up how good I want these answers to be. We had Mike Brown at ESPN after he had coached Kobe and he had coached LeBron. I had him in studio, a little one-on-one, and I was like, all right, man, Kobe, LeBron stories. Like, what do you got? He was like, they're both super competitive. And I was like, so you want a coaching job again? Which is what happens when guys leave the league. Like, I'll stop by here and cash some Disney checks for a year and not say anything interesting, and then I'll go back to coaching. And again, I don't really blame them because they're just constantly afraid. They've never had this moment of like, I'm supposed to be just unleashed with all these opinions. And some guys are like, I never want to coach again, so I'm going to let it fly. Give us the scouting reports on some of these stars that you've played with that maybe we don't know. All right, so let's start with KD. KD as a player, as the teammate, the stuff that maybe we don't understand what it's like to be with a KD every day.
What kind of scouting report do you want?
Whatever you think is the most interesting.
The how to stop him scouting report?
I kind of want the full scope of like when you're talking to your buddies and they asking these same annoying questions I'm asking you now. Like, all right, I think KD's here. I mean, I'm not asking necessarily to start some beef or something like that because KD will respond.
I was going down that road. Right. I was almost there.
All right. Well, no, feel free then. Call him out. He's going to be ready. He's 34 now. No, just like give me specifics. Like, just share with us something about KD that maybe we don't understand. Because like, there's times where I'll admit it myself. Like when it was the Giannis KD thing, I'm like, with the shooting package that KD has, like, how can anybody say anyone in the world is better than him? And then I was like, Giannis just plays with a ferocity at both ends that I just don't know that anybody else matches. So like, I was still hanging out in KD Island going, he's the best in the world. And it was because of the shooting. And it just, I want shooting more than anything. And then I just felt like I had to give in to Giannis eventually.
It's a good observation. But like for Kevin, like I've known Kevin for a long time. We're from the same area, from DC area. Knew him high school. Something you don't know. It's hard. I mean, because he's an open book. You know, he's been more open. On the bad side a little bit more because he's, been Twitter, nothing I want to talk about.
Here's what I would say that's the most positive thing. I know what he thinks about things for real all the time.
No, you're going to get that.
Yeah,
that's why I said it's not positive sometimes, because he can go off the wall a little bit. But basketball-wise, he's probably one of the most talented guys I've ever been around. He's a legit footer. I don't know why he keeps wanting to be 6'9", 6'10". He's 7'1", and his skill set is unbelievable. You're talking about a guy who can score on all three levels, who can do pretty much everything on the floor. But he also works on his game like he's about to get sent down to the G League. Like he is always in the gym 20%, but like his basketball. He loves basketball. And I heard him say it a lot of times, and I think people laugh when he says it. Basketball is his life. That's why he don't brush hair. Basketball is his life. He'd rather go out and just play fucking basketball. Don't care about how he looks. He want to play basketball. And that's what I love about him. He's devoted. He's dedicated to his craft. He studies his craft, from, guys, legends, George Irvin. Like, that was one of his guys. So, he studies his craft. And, that's why he's at where he's at today.
That was a great answer.
Thanks.
We got to.
I had to think about that one for a second.
Right. So now that we're in that mode, LeBron
was made in a lab somewhere in Germany and was sent here to just take over the league. I've never seen anybody. So when I got there, I'm like, all right, shit. I'm 6'9", I'm 240, I'm a big guy. Till he walked in the gym, and I'm like, God damn, like, you 6'8.5", I want to say he's like 270. He can run a 4.1 and a 40. Like, he's unbelievable. And I thought I was athletic until I met him. He can jump, touch his head on the rim. But he's something people don't know, like, he's a big kid. He's joking around 24/7. He's dancing, singing, playing around. But, he's still the spotlight wherever he goes, off the court. Obviously not because of his aura and what he brings, from basketball. He's just, he's a light. Like, people gravitate towards his energy. And that's why you see a lot of guys who are on his team, they gravitate towards him because of his energy, how he brings guys together. And, basketball, I mean, you see it. I mean, he has every record there is. He's top 5, about to be number 1 in scoring, which is absolutely amazing. And I learned a lot from him. So, I credit him to the longevity that I'm trying to have, because I got to watch him firsthand.
Were you more impressed playing with Harden or annoyed at the calls that he got playing against him?
It's a little bit of both.
There's a right answer.
It's a little bit of both, man. I mean, he's a guy who found the loopholes.
Found the loopholes.
No, it's true. He found out how to trick the refs into getting, the calls, to, finding ways to, get the advantage on the offensive end in the game of basketball. I mean, he's creative. I mean, he's also skilled, and he can do a lot of things on the floor. So, but guarding him, fucking hate guarding him because they're going to give him a call. And
what do they say to you, Jeff? What do the refs say to you when you you fell for that shit where he brought his arms up again?
That's what the refs say.
You're going to fall for it 4 times?
I mean,
wait, they say that to you? I'm pretending I'm you. And
no, that's what the refs say. And they be like, damn, you fell for it again, and you've been watching him do it. Why did you fall for it? It's like, fuck, I thought he was going to shoot it. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't want to jump Jeff's jokes here. Your timing's impeccable, but
thanks. I've been watching Dave Chappelle. It's like,
oh, I can tell. I might get out of here. Dude, life advice. Me and Kyle, you guys hit it off. I think the worst play in NBA history is Kawhi landing on Zaza, because now.
You said the what?
Well, the word. I'm exaggerating a bit, but Kawhi landing on Zaza Pachulia.
Oh, got it.
in that playoff series,
Yeah.
and the unintended consequences of everybody landing like an asshole after they shoot, and then somebody be like, no, that's how you land. You always go for it. Be like, except when no defenders there and they all go straight up and
It's
down.
the thing now. It's what I challenge the refs on. So we have an NBA ref meeting every year, which is pointless. And they go over what they are looking for this year. And I always have a problem with that because it's like if I stop in front of a shooter, he jumps forward to me, how is that a foul on me?
It's not. I agree.
And
with
I say that, and it's like, well, you got to give him space to land. It's like, well, I might as well just go sit down on the bench and let him just shoot it, because they don't understand, like, the spacing and what it takes for a guy to actually defend, because they're just watching with a whistle. But it is what it is.
I've proposed the restricted area should be the 3-point line, but
it should be in about 10 years, maybe.
Okay, we got rapid fire with Jeff. Are you ready for this?
I think so. Yes.
All right. Teammates. Chris Wilcox.
My heart brother.
That was a layup.
Yeah, that was a layup.
He's a terp.
Yeah. I actually watched. That's why I wanted to go to Maryland. It's because of him. Him, Drew Nicholas, Steve Blake.
Dude, him in college.
Yeah.
That was like.
They won a championship when I was in high school.
If I had been taller, I would have tried to play like him.
Yeah. But I hate Gary Williams now. And I told him that to his face. So I feel good. Yeah.
Luke Herringody.
Luke Herringody. Why did I play with Luke Herringody?
Did you?
Wait, I played against him in. No, that's not in college.
Was he your teammate or not? True or false? In the NBA. I think you've had 225 teammates.
Was that the most?
We're getting there.
It's almost there, yeah. Luke Herringody. Was that in Boston?
Yes, 2010, 2011.
Yeah. Thanks. It's a long time ago.
Okay. Have you ever been listed as a center for an entire season?
Are we doing just NBA?
Yeah.
Oh, an entire season? No.
You are.
When?
Houston. They just put you down. Look, yeah. Because when you play with Harden, you have to get rid of all these other players so that he got. Never mind. We won't.
Well, I didn't say I was a center, but I thought PJ Tucker was technically the center because
he was a center for a whole playoff series one year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. That's right.
Were you teammates with Ray McCallum?
That's the guard. That was the little
that little guard.
Yeah.
He was thick.
I don't remember that about him. But
trying to help.
Where was that?
This was so dirty. I shouldn't have. He played 10 games with Memphis. He got picked up in March after you were traded in February.
Oh, I do remember. He was number 3. I remember him. Yeah.
Detroit?
But
that was dirty. I shouldn't. As I was writing that one down, I'm like, you're such a dick sometimes.
That was a low ball. There's no way I was going to
Okay, last two. Dan Issel.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. What's your
Dan Issel?
Wait a minute. I don't want the city to turn against you here.
Well,
he's old.
My apologies in advance.
Yeah.
But
No, he's like in the ABA. That was a joke.
The fuck?
We get a good crowd here. We're just right into it. What's your career game high?
42 or 3, one of the two, right?
43.
43 against LeBron.
Against LeBron.
Against LeBron, yeah, I gave him that work.
I was payback.
He wasn't guarded. It was Shane Battier.
This is awesome, man. We got to do this again sometime. Seriously.
Let me know.
Give it up to Jeff Green.